Children, we have come to the last part of chapter 5, page number 89, 5.7, trade cycle. So, what do you mean by a trade cycle? The economic activity in a capitalist economy will have its periodic ups and downs. Sometimes it will be up, the trade cycle will be up, the economic activity will be down. Sometimes the economic activity will be very high or it will be very, very low. The study of these ups and downs are called as business cycle or trade cycle or industrial fluctuation. So the economic activity, sometimes it will go up, sometimes it will come down. So there will be a fluctuation in the economic activity at regular intervals. This is only called as a trade cycle. The trade cycle refers to oscillations. Oscillations means like a pendulum. In a wall clock, you can see the pendulum moving from left to right. Okay, so these are only called as oscillations. Likewise, the trade cycle refers to oscillations. Oscillations in which area? In the aggregate economic activity, in the total economic activity of a country, particularly in the areas of employment, output, and income. So, the trade cycle refers to oscillations in aggregate economic activity, particularly in employment, output, and income. Uh, when we take human beings, our mood also will not be the same always. Sometimes we will be very joyful, sometimes we will be very gloomy, very dull. We have mood swings. Likewise, in any economy, there will be trade cycles. That is, there will be ups and downs in the economic activity. These ups and downs are only called as trade cycle, or you can also call it business cycle or industrial fluctuations. So there is a definition for trade cycle given by J.M. Keynes. A trade cycle is composed of periods of good trade characterized by rising prices and low unemployment percentages, altering with periods of bad trade characterized by fallen prices and high unemployment percentages. So here you can clearly see that in a trade cycle you have good trade and bad trade. When it is good, it means there is a rise in the price and the percentage of unemployment is very low. So already we have seen that inflation to a moderate level is always good for the economy. So a good trade is characterized by rising prices and low unemployment percentages. On the other hand, a bad trade is characterized by fall in prices. That is, there will be deflation, and at the same time, the unemployment percentage of unemployment will be high. This definition is very, very simple. A trade cycle is composed of periods of good trade characterized by rising prices and low unemployment percentages. Altering means there will be good trade and bad trade, good trade and bad trade. It will be altered like that, altering with periods of bad trade. This is good trade, here it is bad trade, characterized by, here it is rising prices, here it is fallen prices. Here it is low unemployment percentages and here it is high unemployment percentages. So this is the definition given by J.M. Keynes. A trade cycle is composed of periods of good trade characterized by rising prices and low unemployment percentages, altering with periods of bad trade characterized by fallen prices and high unemployment percentages. Let's go on to the next slide. Phases of trade. So in this diagram, you can see a graph. On the x-axis, we have taken time, and on the y-axis, it is the level of real output. Level of real output. So here there are four phases: boom, recession, depression, and recovery. So this orange arrow downwards, this is a recession. Okay, the lowest point of recession is called as depression. Okay, then the green part, the upward arrow, is called as recovery. It is recovering. the economic activity is recovering. The highest part of this green color arrow is called as boom. Then again, it is a cycle. So again, there is a recession, depression, recovery, and boom. Boom means it is prosperity. Above this line, it is prosperity. So this line is called as the growth trend. This line is called as the growth trend. You can see that the economy is growing, but at the same time, there are trade cycles. There are economic fluctuation. Recession, depression, recovery, boom, recession, depression, recovery, boom. So let us see one by one. What is boom? The movement of the economy beyond full employment is characterized as boom period. So if an economy is functioning at full employment and it is trying to go beyond that is called as boom period. During this period, what are the effects during the boom period? Money wages rise, profit increases, interest rates go up. So these are the effects of boom. And the demand for bank credit increases. People tend to go and buy credit and they buy goods and services with a credit amount. So there is all round optimism. There is every way of uh, happiness, all round optimism, every area, the agricultural sector, the industrial sector, the service sector, every area is booming. This moment of an economy beyond full employment is characterized as boom period. So the wages of the people, the profit, everything increases. This is only called as boom. Recession. After boom, there is a dip. This dip is called as recession. Investments are drastically reduced, production comes down, income and profit decline. So the investment made by the entrepreneur is reduced. When there is a reduction in the investment, naturally the production also comes down. When the production comes down, what do the entrepreneurs do? They do not hire laborers to work. So the income falls and ultimately the profit also declines. This is the period of recession. Investments are drastically reduced, production comes down, income and profit decline. Liquidity preference of the people rises and money market becomes tight. People want to have more money. They want to have money. They don't want to buy goods. They are just trying to hoard the money. They want to have liquidity preference. They want to use the money for future. So the liquidity preference of people rises and money market becomes tight. So what do you mean by liquidity preference of people rises? People do not want to spend their money. They want to have cash and currency as it is. They don't want to convert it into goods and services. Next is depression. Depression is the lowest part of the recession. During depression, the ultimate result is unemployment. You can see unemployment everywhere. Interest prices, profits, and wages are very, very low. Especially the agricultural class and the wage earners would be the worst hit. So, who is the worst hit? During depression, agricultural class and wage earners. Daily wages. Banking institution will be reluctant to advance loans. Banking institutions do not come forward to give loans for the general public or to the businessmen. Okay, here in boom, they were willing to give credit increases. Here the credit decreases because the banks are not willing. Reluctant means they are not willing to advance loans to the businessmen. The extreme point of depression is called as trough. The lowest point is called as trough because it is the deepest point in the business circle. Okay, so why is it called a trough? A trough means it's like a bucket. Okay, or you can imagine a basin type of a thing where if you fall into a trough, you cannot come out of your own. Somebody has to help you to come out of the trough. So that's why it is called as trough. So depression is the worst phase of business cycle. Extreme point of depression is called as trough. Any person who falls into deeps could not come out from that without others' help. Similarly, an economy which falls down into a trough could not come out of its own without any external help. So this is the deepest point in the business cycle, the trough. After the trough, okay, somehow the economy tries to come up. Okay, that is only called as recovery. It begins with the revival of demand. There is demand. People want to buy consumer goods as well as capital goods. There is autonomous investment. What is autonomous investment? Investment which is not which is not dependent on the interest rate, and the output is only called as autonomous investment. I already explained this in the third chapter. What is autonomous investment? Investment which is not dependent on the output as well as rate of interest is called as autonomous investment. So autonomous investment boosts the activity. Recovery may be initiated by innovation or investment or by government expenditure. So all this the government has to take, or the government has to start spending. When the government starts spending on welfare activities like laying the roads and other things, people get employment. When people get employment, their income increases. When income increases, the demand increases. When demand increases, the production increases. Okay? So it begins with the revival of the demand for capital goods. That is the period of recovery. So these are the phases of trade cycle. 4 phases: boom, recession, depression, and recovery. This is a very, very important question, and it is very simple also. If this question is asked, you have to draw this graph and give the explanation. Okay, this is found on this question, okay, is found on page number 93 under part D. Answer the following questions in about a page. Describe the phases of trade cycle. For that, you have to write only this. You have to draw this diagram and the 4 phases. Okay. Now turn to page number 93. You have certain questions as homework. First, under 2 marks question, 27th question. What is stagflation? What is stagflation? For that, you have to write this. Okay. It is a combination of stagnant economic growth, high unemployment, and high inflation. It is found on page number 89. Then you have explain disinflation. That is found on page 88. This is only disinflation, but this is a 3-mark question. So you turn to page number 88 and write all that is beneath disinflation. Okay. Then after that, under part D, you have only one question: describe the phases of trade cycle. And the other one, I've already dealt the causes of inflation. Okay. The causes of inflation and the effects. We saw effects only today, but in the last class, I taught the causes of inflation. So causes plus what I taught today, the effects of inflation, is seen in question number 37. Okay. So 37 has a part which I taught in the last class on Monday, causes of inflation, and the remaining part I taught today, the effects of inflation. So with this, the chapter 5 is done. I want you to write your classworks and the homework notebook, and assignments I will let you know in the group. Okay. Those who have not completed the first 2 tests and the first 2 assignments, please submit it at the earliest. Thank you, girls.